Have you ever wondered how the Order of the Phoenix actually communicates with each other by other means? They can't use food powder to stick their face in the fire, which is kind of weird. I think I'd be terrified of sitting at the kitchen table, eating your chicken pot pie. All of a sudden, you hear a voice behind you. You see somebody's face in the fire. Either way, it's kind of weird how, all these magical ailments and ways to communicate are in present, and every single one of them is tracked by Ministry of Magic. But Dumbledore found a way to communicate with the Order of the Phoenix by other means that is not tracked. And we have seen this before 2 other times. Let's get into how Dumbledore communicates with the Order of the Phoenix. So we see, the first time we see this form of communication is with Lord Voldemort. Voldemort has Dark Mark, touches it, and it sends out a signal, and everybody else's Dark Mark burns, and it tells you, hey, the Dark Lord has summoned us. Or if someone else touches it, the Dark Lord is summoned. So, if I was a Death Eater, and I touched my mark, I would summon the Dark Lord to my position. If the Dark Lord touches my mark, it sends a signal to everybody else to come and present. Like we saw in the cemetery during Goblet of Fire. He touched Wormtail's mark, and therefore all the other Death Eaters who wanted to come, who weren't too afraid, showed up at the cemetery. And then, in Order of the Phoenix, we got the hint of Hermione using the same method with the Galleons to call upon the DA, or Dumbledore's army. She would touch Harry's coin, change the day on Harry's coin, it would burn in her pocket. Very similar to the Dark Mark. And Hermione even says that she got this idea because of the Dark Mark. So what does this have to do with Dumbledore and Order of the Phoenix? This has to do with because Dumbledore uses this same type of method. However, he makes a really hint towards what he uses in place of the coin or the Dark Mark. Something that is safe and not going to really matter. But it could also potentially be dangerous if somebody else picks up on it in a different way. However, what if Dumbledore uses his chocolate frog card? And this is not my original theory, but this theory comes from the fact that he used his chocolate frog card. And we even have Bill saying that when Dumbledore was, kicked out of school, he said that, I don't care what they do. Kick me out of Hogwarts. Rip me of my Wizardgamon status. Rip me of anything you want. Do whatever you want to me. Just don't take me out the chocolate frog card. He makes a joke of it. And why did he only care for the chocolate frog card? It's a stupid novelty item. You still have them. They're just not going to produce anymore. They can't just magically take you off something that's already there, I guess. But what if that was because he uses the chocolate frog card to communicate? Now, we see the chocolate frog cards very rarely. We do see them once in a while. They talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But at one scene, when Harry first sees the chocolate frog card, he says, "Oh, I got Dumbledore." and then Dumbledore disappears. And it's like, oh, you can't expect him to sit around all day. Well, yeah, I could, because none of the other images on the chocolate fog cards disappear. We see photographs of people that are still alive, and they're always in the photographs. They're always still in the photographs. You get a newspaper, there's a photograph newspaper of you. You're going to be sitting in that photograph all day. And paintings, on the other hand, they can move between paintings or move from one portrait to the next, such as Phineas Nigellus can move from Dumbledore's office to the house at 12 Grimmauld Place. So you can find an empty canvas, but with a picture, it's different. And the picture on the chocolate fog card, I assume, is just like a holographic picture that was taken, or just a picture that was taken of Dumbledore, just like you would see in a newspaper. It seems like the photographs, you can't just leave the photograph. You can move in the photograph. You can wave at people. Or like in the Order of the Phoenix, when Moody shows Harry the photo of the original Order of the Phoenix, he tells, a couple to move out of the way so he can show other members, because there was a big crowd, a big picture. But it doesn't seem like... And Moody was in that picture too. And I assume that the photograph is always going to have those people in it. People aren't just going to leave the photograph to go someplace else. So, why did Dumbledore leave the photograph on the card? Because he did something to it. That every single chocolate frog card of him is able to communicate with others. So he magically made his chocolate frog card unique to all the others, where he can bounce from card to card and communicate and watch and spy and talk to the Order of the Phoenix. So he uses a chocolate frog card to communicate with the Order of the Phoenix, and that is why he doesn't want to be removed from it, because then it would do that. This is very awesome if it is true, and it's also very scary if it's true, because the fact that, he may understand it. He saw Harry. He's like, oh, good, Harry's on the train. I'm going to bounce out now. But if Voldemort had the card, he could never be there. But if Voldemort knew that that's how they communicated, he could steal the idea. And I doubt Snape actually ever told him that, because Snape told him a few things, but never told him that. But if that's the case, that the Order of the Phoenix have a certain way of communicating, Snape could have still had that card. And by having that card, he knew the change of date of when they can move it. That's why he told Voldemort they're going to move him on Saturday, not the 30th. And the guy from the ministry's like, oh, no, we're on the 30th. Listen, dude, I'm Professor Snape. I know things. They're going to move him on Saturday. I have my resources. And he says to Voldemort, the resource we talked about. So he could still have a Dumbledore card and easily have communicated with the Order of Phoenix. But okay, to change it to Saturday. So that makes a lot of sense. He somehow used that card to listen in on a conversation that somebody had with somebody else in order to get the actual date of when they're going to move Harry. But then again, why did Snape let that happen? I guess he wanted to be in Voldemort's better graces so he could way down the road save Harry, yada yada yada. Anyway, so yeah, Dumbledore uses the chocolate frog cards to communicate with the Order of Phoenix, and then the Order of Phoenix still use them after he dies, because it's mentioned quite a few times that the Order of the Phoenix has other ways of communicating that the Ministry can't track. Today's sponsor is Raze Energy Drink, brought to you by Rep Sports. That's REPP Sports.com. Go to repsports.com right now. Get yourself some nice Raze Energy Drink. 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 dyes, full of caffeine, amino acids, and all the great stuff you need to get through your day. You can also get workout mix. You can also get hypersleep. What's hypersleep? Well, hypersleep is a nice little drink mix you drink before you go to bed, and you wake up feeling refreshed and hydrated. And you can also get hydration powder. So while you're working, it's better than Gatorade. You can just stay hydrated all day, all through your workout. Run that mile with the hydration powder. And they have great flavors in everything. Do you like breakfast? Well, guess what? They got breakfast too. What do you mean they got breakfast? We got pancakes. Yeah, we have pancakes. Protein pancakes to keep yourself energized and refreshed all day long. So go to repsports.com. That's REPP sports.com and get yourself some pancakes and energy drinks. But before you go, make sure you check out this video here and that video right there, and check out the merch store down below, and check out my Patreon page where I have content on there just for you, and if you want other content just for you and helps me out tremendously, hit that join button right down there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.